Hello, welcome to the King Power Stadium, where Norwich City have got a very, very positive result this afternoon. A 1-1 draw away to Leicester, who were rampant ahead of this. They'd won 9 on the spin, including a cup game, so they were looking for 10 in all competitions. 8 of those were in the Premier League. They were in fantastic form, really trying to chase down Liverpool, but Liverpool got their win over Watford at lunchtime, which was helpful for Norwich, and then this point has proved very helpful thanks to Aston Villa losing 2-0 at Sheffield United, thanks to a couple of goals from John Fleck, nephew of former Norwich striker Robert, if you weren't already aware. This is the King Power Stadium, a very chilly one, and it looks like the lawnmowers are going away just in time for me to deliver this report for you, which is always nice timing because they are our nemesis, as you know from watching these games on these reports on the Pink and YouTube channel or on our website. Teemu Pukki gets his 9th goal of the season. There does appear to be a little bit of a scare post-game though, a few tweets filtering through that Pukki might have a fractured toe, so we'll have to see how that one settles down. He was in the mix zone, didn't appear to be wearing a protective boot or to be in any kind of distress. He was smiling, happy with the point, as they all were. We spoke to Christoph Zimmermann and Max Aarons as well, and really satisfied with their day's work, and both said that they're a little disappointed to leave here without the win. So that kind of sums it up. Not just a very creditable point that left over 3,000 away fans very, very grateful and pleased to see such big effort, but there were chances to win this one, and although a draw probably over the course of the game is a fair point in the end, Leicester will probably feel a little bit relieved that they got away with this one. An absolutely action-packed game again, as it always seems to be with Norwich, because they're such an attacking team, sort of open in a lot of ways, and Leicester are too. They're quite similar in terms of style, although admittedly on a different level most of the time. So there were 18 shots for Leicester and 10 for Norwich, just the 28 shots on goal in this one. 5 of those on target for Leicester, 3 for Norwich, and Leicester had 57% of the possession. So another game where Norwich haven't had the majority of possession, where they've got a good result. So that seems to be an increasing trend, and we saw some real good counter-attacking play, a lot of speed. Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell making real good progress going forward. Buendia played some absolutely brilliant sort of classic trademark Buendia through balls today, which is exactly what we've all been wanting to see. And there goes a tractor or a lawnmower right behind me. Hopefully he'll soon be gone. The 2 changes Daniel Farke made for this game were Tom Tribal and Todd Cantwell both coming into the team. Mario Vrancic and Onel Hernandez both having to make do with a place on the bench. They both did come on late in the game, as did Marco Stiepermann. And Stiepermann and Hernandez, really, between the two of them, had a huge chance to win it right at the death in the 4th minute of injury time, but we will come to that. It was a nervy start though. Tim Krul spilled a Yuri Tielemans shot onto his own post. Alicetti couldn't close down the shot, and Krul was fortunate to grab the loose ball with Jamie Vardy charging in. Vardy was looking for his 9th successive goal and chasing his own Premier League record of 11 successive games, but he didn't get it. He came very close though, as we will come on to. Max Aarons and Kenny McLean, good bit of play, then got Norwich their first big chance in the 15th minute. Teemu Pukki just couldn't reach, stretched at the back post and prodded it wide. A very similar chance soon after coming from the left. Sam Byron with the cross that time, and Pukki didn't quite come to him. Leicester were able to scramble that away. Ricardo Pereira headed over from a corner in the 21st minute. As I say, action-packed, lots of chances. That was from a James Maddison corner, who was of course featuring against Norwich for the first time, and at full time he did have a nice reception from the away end. He went around the whole stadium, wanted to get his moment with the away end after Daniel Farke had done his celebratory waves, as he likes to do, and but he was in the thick of the action, as I'll come to in just a second. The goal came from Norwich taking the lead, 26th minute, and as I say, Emi Buendia, absolutely beautiful through ball. Kenny McLean actually didn't win a aerial battle in the middle of the pitch, but Tribal quickly gave the ball to Buendia. He turned on a sixpence and just threaded the ball exactly where Teemu Pukki wants it, into the right channel, takes on Schmeichel, and then fires a low sort of rolled shot, very controlled, across the keeper into the bottom left corner, and that had wrong-footed Schmeichel. So that was 1-0, and the away end went pretty mad at that one, as you can imagine. There's not been too much to celebrate away from home in terms of goals. So that was a big moment. But then it all really kicked off. 33rd minute, so just 7 minutes after the goal, Todd Cantwell, perhaps lucky to have not got a red card. There was a VAR check, but it all unfolded from Emi Buendia, who had been clattered by Ben Chilwell, went down injured. Leicester played on. Eventually, Norwich put the ball out of play because Leicester had him, which they don't have to, of course. But because Norwich had put the ball out of play, the normal expectation would be that the opposition just sportingly gives the ball back. But Kelechi Iheanacho did not get the memo. He attacks, Norwich arms in the air, and then, very frustrated, Christoph Zimmermann charges into a tackle on the edge of the area, takes him out. Under normal circumstances, that would probably be a yellow card, but the Norwich players reacted incredibly angrily. Todd Cantwell in particular. I thought Tim Krul had charged in angrily at first, but having seen the replay, he was actually getting in there to stop Todd doing anything stupid, and Todd had really seen red by this point. He almost looked like he was trying to grab Iheanacho by his chest, by his shirt, to sort of pull him up angrily to the ground before the chaos sort of broke out, and the referee had to make sense of it. So the VAR did get involved, at which point we were worried that Cantwell's yellow card was going to become a red card, in kind of the opposite of what we saw at Carrow last week, but he got away with it. Iheanacho, not popular with the Norwich players at all, was taken off before half-time. I'm not sure if that's just because Brendan Rodgers thought he'd lost his concentration too much, but he was reasonably ineffectual. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but that was a real flashpoint. So that was kind of one that Norwich survived, and there was to be a few more VAR incidents during the game. 33rd, which would have been controversial, just 2 minutes later, Cantwell is set up by Buendia and pokes a shot towards the bottom left corner that Schmeichel saves. It's a decent effort, didn't quite meet it properly, but if he'd have scored right on the back of that instant, that really would have been quite controversial. That would have been 2-0, and this place would have turned quite angry, I suspect. But then Leicester do equalise before half-time, 38th minute, and it actually goes down as a Tim Krul own goal, which is a bit unfair, but it is factually correct, and it's from another set piece. Once again, we've just spoken to Christoph Zimmermann and Max Aarons at length about this in the mix zone afterwards, about how hard they've got to work on fixing this. Very simple. James Maddison swings it to the near post. Vardy runs unopposed, seems to have lost Kenny McLean, nods the header down. From the replays I've seen, I'm not totally convinced that it's not on target, but I haven't seen a great angle of it yet. But it's gone down officially as that header from Vardy wasn't on target, and that Krul actually turns it in. But that's very harsh because it was point blank range. Krul knew very little about it. He was just trying to flap towards the ball, I suppose, to try and deflect it away from his goal. And as I say, Vardy will be annoyed as well because that denies him scoring in a ninth consecutive game. So it goes down officially as a Tim Krul own goal. Then there was more. Another flashpoint 2 minutes before the break, or in the 43rd minute at least, between Maddison and Alex Tettey. Firstly, Tettey sort of failing arm catches Maddison a little bit in the face when they're sort of grappling in midfield. I think Maddison makes a lot of it. Goes down quite easily, which is surprising given he's against his former team, but I guess he has to play against Norwich like he would anyone else. And then annoyed that Tettey hasn't been punished, seemingly charges into a tackle once the play restarts, catches Tettey only a little bit to be fair, but his studs were up, challenges Tettey as he makes a clearance on halfway, and is pretty lucky to not get booked. But at the time it looked like he'd lost his rag and was making an angry tackle on Tettey. So there was again some pretty angry words between the Norwich players and their former teammate. That was a strange incident really. And before the break, still not finished, Zimmermann makes a very timely tackle on Damari Gray after Ben Godfrey had shown really good pace to get across and close down Jamie Vardy. If he'd have got that wrong, that would have been a clear penalty as well. Pardon me. The second half was less eventful, but both teams had to really work. Both got a bit desperate trying to force the issue. Excuse me. Just clear my throat. But Vardy had a chance 3 minutes into the second half. He got round Krul, but then he put his shot just a little bit wide. Godfrey had slid in to make sure that was the case. Vardy could have done better with that one. Godfrey did clatter the post a little bit, but it seemed to be okay. And midway through the second half, Krul did make a good save. Again, Kenny McLean not clearing his lines in his box, and you don't need to give Jamie Vardy 2 invites at a chance. And he turned very quickly and a quick snapshot on goal, which was perhaps going towards the bottom corner. Krul got down just to make sure that it wasn't going in and turned it around for the corner. But from there, it's pretty much all Norwich in terms of the chances. 2 huge chances for Timu Pukki, but it just didn't quite break for him. Buendia and Godfrey, both with lovely long balls through to him. looking for his 40th goal for Norwich already. That's the point he's already at. He's got 39 to his name overall for the club. Only joined them in the summer of 2018, of course. But the ball sat up both times, and he needed to take a touch with his chest to set up the shooting opportunity. First time, Soyuncu got back brilliantly, showed his pace. Second time, Pereira gets back to stop him pulling the trigger. When the home faithful had all held their breath on both occasions, thinking that Norwich were going to reclaim the lead. So it felt like there was going to be another goal in this. There wasn't in the end, but there was a real heart-in-mouth moment for Ben Godfrey. That was in the second minute of added time. Ben Chilwell puts in a cross from the left. Godfrey swings at it and just pokes it accidentally towards his own goal. Krul's wrong-footed. It's rolling towards an empty net. Thankfully, Godfrey was able to recover and put that behind for a corner, and Norwich survived. But as I said, there was one late chance in front of the away fans when it looked like they were going to pinch it. Pukki again clean through, and he squares it to Stiepermann, who passes up the chance to shoot because he thinks Hernandez has got a better chance. Hernandez then does his usual bit of dribbling, but then decides to give it back to Stiepermann, who sort of similarly to that Liverpool game on the opening night of the season, fluffed his lines a little bit and couldn't get any power on the shot. Low, Schmeichel holds it, and at the end of the day, the whistle goes on 1-1, and I think both sets of fans probably leave here reasonably happy with a point. Norwich, that's 5 from a possible last 15, a win and 2 draws, and we all know that they probably should have beaten Arsenal. Losing to Sheffield United and Southampton was massively disappointing. They really missed chances to get points from those games as well. So although there were big frustrations in those two in particular before today, overall this might just be a little phase where they've stabilised. With Villa losing, that means Norwich are within 3 points of them, although Southampton are currently playing at home to West Ham, so I can't say what the table is for sure at this point of recording. But they are at least within 3 points of the team who are, as I record, in 17th place. So they're very much still in the fight. There's still a long way to go. We're not even at the halfway point yet. If they can get a win against Wolves at Carrow Road next Saturday, then they are cooking, and they've got a real opportunity to fight to get into a strong position ahead of the second half of the season. I think that just about covers things. The Christmas songs were ringing out at full time, and it's felt like a very positive day overall. We even got a pie in the press box at half time, which is very rare, a turkey and cranberry pie, so that was a bit of a treat on a really cold day. Definitely one for gloves. My phone reckons it was about 4 degrees during the game today, so we're going to head home pretty happy. Not too much of a journey home either. It's only about 2.5-3 hours back to Norfolk from Leicester, so one of the shorter ones for us, so we're going to make the most of it and roll on Wolves next Saturday. One other little point I wanted to make: you may have seen our Youth Cup coverage in midweek. Norwich under-18s beating Newcastle 3-2 at Carrow Road. They will be playing Manchester United in the 4th round of that because their under-18s beat Lincoln last night, so that's one to watch out for in January. FA Youth Cup 4th round game at Carrow Road. Norwich under-18s against Manchester United. I'd imagine there will be a few thousand into Carrow Road for that one. Could be a really interesting game, so that's one to watch out for. Head over to pinkun.com for Paddy's pointers, Connor's report, all the analysis and reaction that you could need, and enjoy it. It's a very positive result for Norwich. Roll on next weekend. Thanks for watching.